Okay, today I want to teach 5.2 multi-step inequalities, and this comes from page 293. And let's just go ahead and get started with this. The first thing that we see is a real-world example. And it says, of the students surveyed at Madison High School, fewer than 84 said they have never purchased an item online. This is about 1/8 of those surveyed. How many were surveyed? Okay. So we have 1/8 n or x. Fewer than means less than. Okay. And then it says the total was 84. So again, it says of the students surveyed, fewer than, so less than, 84 said they have purchased an item online. This is about 1/8 of those surveyed. So we're setting up a fraction and less than the number with a real world problem. So this is example number 1, and this is a survey. To solve this, the variable needs to be on the left. So we undo the division in step 2 by multiplying. So we're going to flip the fraction, okay? So this is actually multiplying, and also multiplying is dividing, but we're going to flip the fraction. So I'm going to put over here, flip fraction. That means taking the reciprocal, just like we did in single step and multi-step equations. So on both sides, you flip this times 8/1 times 8/1. They cancel. And 84 times 8. It is a word problem, so I can't use my calculator. So this is a word problem. 84 times 8, and that gives me 672. So if only 1/8 were surveyed, then if we did a total survey, it would be something less than 672. Okay, so if I'm going to put this in set notation, n/n is less than 672. The sign stays the same because the n is on the left. Okay? Graph it. 0, 672, negative 672. It's an open dot. Goes to the left. Okay? So let's look at a biology problem. Let's do the guided practice, biology. And I'm just going to read it out. It says Mount Kinabalu in Malaysia has the greatest concentration of wild orchids on Earth. It contains more than 750 species, or about 1/4 of all orchid species in Malaysia. How many orchid species are there in Malaysia? So we're going to do 1/4. It says, what is the title again? It's talking about Mount Kinabalu has the greatest concentration of wild orchids. So I'll just put X. I was trying to find a letter there. And it says that it contains more than 750. That's more than. Okay? More than means greater than. So again, it's a fraction, 1/4. Multiply it on both sides. Cancel. And then we're going to say 750 times 4. And x is greater than, it's more than 3,000 species altogether. Okay, that's the total number of species. I wanted to graph this. Probably wouldn't need to at this point, but I'm just showing you because we've We've been solving the answer, set notation, graph. The variable's on the left side, I don't need to change it. Okay? So now let's look at example 2. Example 2 is going to change all this. So what this says is you're going to have a negative inequality in variable. Negative 3/7 r is less than 21. Okay, here's the new rule. First of all, the variable must be on the left. It is. Secondly, if there is a negative sign attached to the variable, we change directions. Of the inequality sign. First of all, the variable must be on the left. It is. However, there's a negative attached to the variable. So if there is a negative sign attached to the variable, we change directions of the inequality. So there is a negative even though it's on the left, so I have to change directions here. So just like the last problem, you're still going to flip it on both sides. I really didn't have to have that raised off as a parentheses. So they cancel. But I have to change the sign since there was a negative attached to the variable, okay? 21 divided by 3 is 7. 7 times negative 7 is a negative 49. Now I'm just going to do my set notation, and then I'm going to graph it. Open dot, go to negative 49, and goes to the right. Just like that. Let's try 2 more. Try 2a. We'll have negative n over 6 is less than or equal to 8. Okay? There is a negative attached to the letter. The letter's on the left, but I'm still going to have to flip it. Okay? Almost messed this problem up though. The opposite of n divided by 6 is times a negative 6. Okay? Because that will be like 1. So times negative 6 on both sides. It was a negative, so I got times it times a negative. So that means n is greater than or equal to negative 48. I changed directions because there's a negative attached to the letter. So step 1 was okay. We didn't change directions since it was good, but you do for 2 since there was a negative attached to the variable. Set notation. And then we graph it. Greater than or equal to, say close dot. And it points to the right, like that. Okay? Let's try 2c. Let's try 2c. So we'll put 2c up here. 1/5 m is greater than or equal to negative 3. All right, for this problem, is there a negative attached to the letter? And the answer is no. The negative is on the integer, but not the one attached to the variable. It's on the left, So I don't change signs. I just simply flip it. So m is greater than or equal to negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. So don't switch. It has to be a negative here, or it has to be on the right side. It's neither, so you don't switch it. It stays the same. Then if we're going to graph it, close dot, this is greater than or equal to. Okay? So notice I did not switch the sign. Don't switch because there's no negative here. No negative. Alright? Doesn't matter that the integer is a negative. There's no negative attached to the variable. Okay? Example 3 is more of the same type of work. They just wanted you to do all of it at one time. I'll show you one example from example 3. Solve and graph. But I've been doing that all along. So it's not really anything different. 60t is greater than 8. Divide by 60 on both sides. Okay. Find the common denominator, which is going to be probably 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 60 divided by 4 is, let's see, might not be 4. It is. 15, I just couldn't think. So that's 2 over 15. And then t slash t is greater than 2 over 15. No negative, the letter's on the left, it just stays like that. Okay? And then you graph it. Now if I don't graph this, let's just do something different. 2/15 is between 0 and 1, so you can just kind of guess it would be right around here. So then it's open dot over here. You just kind of estimate. That's about what they did in the book. In fact, I think they were too close to the 0. They didn't estimate well enough. So let's do part B. Negative 7d is less than or equal to, so part D, negative 7d is less than or equal to 147. Divide both sides by negative 7. Change directions because there's a negative attached to the letter. So, I'm going to let you use your calculator. 147 divided by 7 negative is a negative 21. So this is how you do that, and then graph it. Negative 21, close dot, points to the right. Okay? So that's what we do with that problem. Alright, this is basically what you do with all of this. Now what I have not told you is a double switch. And so when that comes, I'll do it. That's if the variable's on the right and it's negative. There's a double switch, it'll come back to the original. As we see those problems, I'll tell you about it. Alright, that's it.